Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Shenhao. No initiative, no refusal. Chen Nuo was reborn and returned to university to report on this day. He thought he would have a smooth journey in his life, but he didn't expect that the Shenhao system would also come. This is destined for me to lie down and win in this lifetime. Chen Nuo sighed. 100,000 yuan consumption cashback card. As long as the consumption amount does not exceed 100,000 yuan, you can randomly receive 5 to 10 times the cash reward. Transparent and clean eye halo. Wearing this halo can make the host's eyes clean and transparent, making girls have a favorable impression of the host. Slowly, the wealthy and beautiful Chen Nuo transformed from a campus male god to a national male god. Introduction Week, read the main text. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Is really reborn. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. On a green leather train bound for Mordo. In the train restroom. Chen Nuo looked at his unfamiliar and familiar self in the mirror, his heart turning upside down. Because of him, he was reborn. Rebirth is on the day of taking the train to report to the university. Although this matter is somewhat bizarre, it also subverts Chen Nuo's long-standing scientific values. But the matter was truly presented to him. He was indeed reborn. Reborn at the age of 19, on the day of reporting to university. This made Chen Nuo feel a bit panicked inside, but more importantly, it was accompanied by intense excitement. No one knows better than Chen Nuo what rebirth represents. This represents foresight, representing immense wealth that is unimaginable. Before his rebirth, Chen Nuo had already graduated from college and started working, but due to the large number of college graduates every year, job opportunities were difficult to find. So Chen Nuo's monthly salary is only 3,000 yuan. Although Chen Nuo only took 3 years to become a company manager with a monthly salary of nearly 10,000 yuan, it still seems insufficient in the big city of Magic City. After all, the monthly rent is only 5,000 yuan. Life in a big city was difficult, and at that time, Chen Nuo felt lost and helpless, but he didn't dare to stop because life needed bread. Just this morning, before being reborn, Chen Nuo was still worried about this month's rent. But now, Chen Nuo's heart is no longer lost, replaced by tremendous excitement and excitement. Chen Nuo pressed down on the excitement in his heart, and looked at himself in the mirror at this moment. He is just 19 years old now. His face is still a bit immature, but I have to say that he is still very handsome at this moment. The nose is tall and straight, and the eyes are lively. Anyone who looks at it has to say something handsome about Chen Nuo. But Chen Nuo frowned at the moment, because now he has very long hair, and the front hair is almost covering his eyes. It looks a bit unconventional. Chen Nuo frowned, feeling helpless inside. Now it is 2014, although it is not a mainstream era, it is indeed a trend for boys to cover their eyes with their hair. At the very least, in the small county where he is located, it is a trend. Chen Nuo looked at his hair in the mirror, which was almost covering his eyes, and sighed. In his previous life, when he first entered university, he was often ridiculed for his hairstyle. After all, Modu is a first-tier big city, and the Modu Normal University where he is located is also a second-tier university. Few people like him have this non-mainstream hairstyle. Thinking about the events of his previous life, Chen Nuo felt a bit uneasy in his heart. In his previous life, he spent 3 years becoming a company manager, overseeing 4 or 5 employees. Although he looked quite impressive, he was actually very sad behind the scenes. For the sake of a contract, Chen Nuo should drink 3 large glasses of baijiu in front of the customer. The glass of red wine is full of 3 large glasses, and baijiu is 52 degrees. Not drinking is not enough, because the customer said they won't sign a contract if they don't drink. However, When Chen Nuo finished drinking these 2 glasses of baijiu, his stomach turned upside down. The customer turned back and didn't give Chen Nuo the contract. Also, Chen Nuo's boss, a chubby woman in her 50s, has been harassing him. Although Chen Nuo has been refusing, his boss still harasses him. All kinds of Lin from the previous life are now floating in Chen Nuo's mind. Then, Chen Nuo looked at himself in the mirror and smiled. It's all over now. In terms of playing cards, my hands are full of rocket. Chen Nuo spoke softly, then glanced at himself in the mirror again, turned around, and walked out of the toilet on the train. Chen Nuo, why did you go? Why did you take so long to use the restroom? Just as Chen Nuo walked out of the restroom and was about to return to his seat, he heard a woman's voice. To be precise, it's a girl. Chen Nuo looked up and saw the girl sitting next to his seat. Then, Chen Nuo frowned. The girl's name is Wang Hui, his classmate from 3 years of high school. Although neither of them explicitly stated it, their relationship during their 3 years in high school was very ambiguous. I will only confirm my romantic relationship after going to college. In their previous life, they did indeed establish a romantic relationship after going to college. In just 2 months, Wang Hui broke up and turned to embrace a local classmate in her class. At that time, Chen Nuo suffered for a long time. Borrow wine every day to alleviate worries. Although Chen Nuo knew that it was not really Wang Hui's fault, after all, his home was in a small county town, and although his parents were dual employees, it was obvious that they did not have much money. Compared to the local classmate from the Magic City, it is obvious that Chen Nuo is far inferior. Everyone will choose a better life. Chen Nuo understood this, but he didn't want to forgive. Chen Nuo, what's wrong with you? Why are you looking at me with this kind of gaze? Wang Hui sat in her seat with an unhappy expression on her face. Because she could feel Chen Nuo's dislike towards her from his gaze. Hate it. How could this be possible? During the 3 years of high school, Chen Nuo was always very kind to her, bringing her breakfast and buying snacks every day. Let Wang Hui stand out among her classmates. After all, Chen Nuo is very handsome in the class and has good academic performance. So, it should be an illusion, right? However, to establish a romantic relationship, one still needs to wait for a while after going to college. Can't let Chen Nuo be his girlfriend too easily. Wang Huixin hesitated for a moment and then looked up. Just as she was about to speak, she saw Chen Nuo taking down her luggage. What are you doing with your luggage? It hasn't arrived yet. Subconsciously, Wang Hui spoke up. I don't want to sit with you, I have to go sit in another seat. Chen Nuo, holding his luggage, looked at Wang Hui and spoke directly. Undoubtedly, Chen Nuo has now been reborn and has a clear future ahead. He has 100% confidence that Wang Hui will always be his girlfriend. But why? The difficult time of being sad and drinking all day in his previous life was truly spent by Chen Nuo. I understand you, but I won't forgive you. Once disloyal, 100 times not needed. Chen Nuo held his luggage, pressed his thoughts, and turned around to walk out of the carriage. Prepare to find an empty seat in another carriage. Chen Nuo walked gracefully. But behind her, Wang Hui, who was sitting in her seat, was stunned in place. Chapter 2. Novice Gift Pack. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chen Nuo, are you going to sit in another seat? And the reason is, he doesn't want to sit with himself. Wang Hui stood still, almost unable to believe what she had heard. But the fact was in front of him. Chen Nuo took his luggage to another carriage and walked gracefully without any regrets. After being stunned for a few seconds, an angry expression appeared on Wang Hui's face. Neurosis. I didn't provoke you, but you did it. Just want to be my boyfriend. Dream it, you. Wang Hui was angry inside. She felt that Chen Nuo was really inexplicable. Although both of them have been doing well, Chen Nuo suddenly came up with this. This filled Wang Hui's heart with dissatisfaction. Later, Wang Hui thought of what her mother had said to her when she was at home. You think Chen Nuo is good now, just because our family is in a small county town. Chen Nuo is one of the boys around you, and he is pretty good. But when you arrive at the magic city, you will see more excellent boys, and then you won't think Chen Nuo is good anymore. Yes. There are many excellent boys in the magic city. You are so inexplicable, you are out of the game. Wang Hui was angry in her heart, but for some reason, she always felt a little uneasy. It's like she missed something extremely precious. Cut. Thinking of this, Wang Hui let out a cut. She doesn't think it's a big deal that she missed Chen Nuo. After walking 2 carriages, Chen Nuo saw an empty seat and asked the person next to him. After learning that there was no one here, he sat down directly. Chen Nuo doesn't care about Wang Hui's thoughts and is too lazy to think about them. In the end, he doesn't want to be involved with Wang Hui again in this lifetime. After putting away his luggage, Chen Nuo sat in his seat and stretched lazily. Chen Nuo has not yet figured out what to do after being reborn, but he is not panicked. Because he knows very well what can make money in the future. It's only 2014 now, and there are many opportunities to make money. Not to mention anything else, just Bitcoin. On November 10, 2021, at its peak, Bitcoin was priced at $69,000 per coin. In Chinese yuan, 490,000 yuan. But now, Bitcoin is not yet well known. Among them, it represents huge profits. Apart from Bitcoin, money can also be made in the stock market. The advantage of being reborn lies in this, which is uncertain and risky for many people, but in Chen Nuo's case, it is a 100% profit. It's hard to buy 1,000 pieces of gold. If I had known earlier, that's why. There are still many, many more. So now, Chen Nuo really doesn't have to worry about how to make money. After stretching his waist, Chen Nuo took out his phone and prepared to see what time it was now. But at this moment. Ding, the Shenhao system is being bound. A voice suddenly rang out in Chen Nuo's head. Chen Nuo was stunned for a moment. Being able to be reborn, Chen Nuo felt that it was already a matter of smoking from his ancestral tomb. But now, rebirth is not over yet, and the system has also come. This is no longer the smoke from the ancestral tomb, but a fire. Chen Nuo was excited in his heart, and he was naturally familiar with the system. After all, he had been an old bookworm for many years. System. Chen Nuo tried to call the sound system in his heart. The system is in. The system sound sounded, followed by a property panel that appeared in front of Chen Nuo. The properties of the host panel are as follows. Note. Only the host can see this panel. Chen Nuo listened to the sound, but his gaze turned to the attribute panel in front of him. Of course, Chen Nuo also glanced at the passengers beside him. As expected, none of these passengers saw it. Name. Chen Nuo. Age. 19. Height. 178 weight. 129 appearance. 75, handsome, body shape. 70, sub-healthy, special. 70. Looking at the attribute panel in front of him, Chen Nuo paused for a moment on his appearance score. Is his appearance only at the level of handsome? Also, the figure is surprisingly sub-healthy. Yes, during my 3 years in high school, I spent 10 hours sitting in the classroom every day without exercising. Chen Nuo's mind was spinning and he decided to exercise well from today on. System, what is this special score? Which aspect does it represent? When Chen Nuo saw special in his eyes, he couldn't help but ask in his heart. Special points refer to the hosts. The system replied, and immediately, Chen Nuo's face became a bit strange. Then, he glanced at his crotch. This system is definitely a bit unorthodox. All attribute scores of the host can be improved, and the system will periodically publish tasks. As long as the host completes, there is a chance to obtain attribute points. Note: when publishing tasks, even if the host cannot complete them, there will be no punishment. The system sound is ringing again. Can my attribute score be improved? Chen Nuo was surprised for a moment. Then, his gaze lingered for several seconds on the special aspect of the property panel. Which man doesn't have the vision of Jiao Chan on his waist? Cough. Chen Nuo coughed and was about to speak. But then the system spoke again. The current daily limit of the host is 1,000 renminbi, and the host can withdraw it at any time. Note: the money obtained by the host is obtained from foreign financial markets, and all sources of funds are normal without any legal risks. Is there 1,000 yuan every day? Extract at any time. And there's no risk involved. Chen Nuo instinctively clenched his fist. 1,000 yuan a day makes 30,000 yuan a month. This money, a lot. After Chen Nuo became the supervisor in his previous life, his monthly salary could only exceed 10,000 yuan. But that kind of over 10,000 requires Chen Nuo to work as a bull and horse in the company every day. Need to socialize every night, drunk and unconscious. Need to please customers. But now, the system directly gives 1,000 a day without doing anything. To be honest, it's a bit satisfying. Chen Nuo felt a sense of inner satisfaction. The current level of the host is level 1, and there are still 0/10,000 consumption points to upgrade before the next level. 1 RMB equals 1 consumption point. The system sounds. Can we still upgrade? Level 1 costs 1,000 yuan per day. How much is level 2? Without a doubt, it will definitely rise. Newcomer gift package distribution. May I ask if the host has opened it? Just as Chen Nuo was about to ask the system how much money would be given every day after the upgrade, a newbie gift package interrupted Chen Nuo's thoughts. Open. Chen Nuo spoke directly without hesitation. Chapter 3. Consumer Cashback Card. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The beginner gift pack has been opened, and the rewards are as follows. 1. A 100,000 yuan shopping and consumption cashback card. The host can go shopping and consume, and when the spending amount does not exceed 100,000 yuan, using this card will randomly receive 5.10 times the cashback reward. 2. A pair of clean and transparent eyes halo bonus. After wearing this light ring, the host's eyes will become clean and transparent, which can easily create a favorable impression of the host. The system sounds. The beginner gift package offers a total of 2 rewards. Chen Nuo was already stunned. Because he didn't expect that the reward for the newbie gift package given by the system would be so generous. Chen Nuo can clearly calculate the value of the 100,000 yuan shopping consumption cashback card. For example, Chen Nuo spent 100,000 yuan shopping, and after using this cashback card, he can receive a minimum cashback reward of 5 times, which is 500,000 yuan. And if it's the highest 10 times cashback reward, it's 1 million yuan. That is to say, Chen Nuo can not only buy things without spending money, but also make money. Chen Nuo's eyes lit up, and he keenly noticed that compared to the daily 1,000 yuan given by the system, this consumption cashback card brought more money. Of course, the beginner's gift package is only available this time. But that's also great. Ha! Chen Nuo pressed his excited heart and looked at the second reward given by the system. A pair of clean and transparent eyes halo bonus. It's not an exaggeration to say that when Chen Nuo saw this reward, his heart couldn't help but beat hard several times. As is well known, the eyes are the windows of the soul. When people interact and speak, they always look into each other's eyes. When this person's eyes dodge and become cloudy, it is a person who will feel a sense of disgust. On the contrary, when a person's eyes are clean and thorough, it will create a favorable impression. The halo bonus of the system can be considered a social tool. Even more so, Chen Nuo actually values this halo more. At the end of the day, society is made up of people, and when everyone sees you and feels good about you, to be honest, it's against the odds. May I ask if the host needs to wear a clean and transparent halo for their eyes? The sound of the system interrupted Chen Nuo's inner exclamation. Wear it. Chen Nuo spoke up directly, and of course, these social tools need to be worn. Successfully worn, the host's current attributes are as follows. Name. Chen Nuo. Height. 178 weight. 129 appearance. 75, handsome, special. 70 existing halo. Clear and transparent halo for eyes, note. Halos cannot be stacked, and when the host obtains the next halo, the existing halo will be automatically cancelled. Chen Nuo's personal attribute panel has emerged. Chen Nuo's gaze swept past and he nodded. He saw the implied meaning of the system, and there were still many halos that could not be stacked. The current level of the host's divine hero is too low. Please upgrade as soon as possible. After level 5, the system mall will open, and the host can exchange things in the mall. The system sounds. The system mall. What are their things there? Chen Nuo asked curiously. You can know after the host reaches level 5. The system spoke up, obviously not telling Chen Nuo. Seeing this, Chen Nuo didn't care either, because so far he has been very satisfied with the Shenhao system. 1,000 yuan per day, and it will increase even after upgrading. The 100,000 yuan consumption cashback card not only allows you to buy things without spending money, but also allows you to receive at least several 100,000 yuan in cash. The eyes are clean and transparent, not to mention the halo. Anyway, it's great. Chen Nuo sat in his seat, took out his phone, and prepared to see what he looked like after wearing a clean and transparent halo of his eyes. Take out your phone and unlock it. Chen Nuo frowned. He now uses a smartphone, but the brand is not outstanding. He has used it for 3 years in high school, and it is too laggy in use, and the touch is very bad. It seems like I need to change my phone. Chen Nuo's mind was spinning, then he pressed and turned on the front camera of his phone, aiming it at his face. Then, Chen Nuo's whole body shook. Because his eyes are now very clean and transparent. Even Chen Nuo himself couldn't help but be attracted. If Chen Nuo was a handsome young man before wearing a halo, then now he can be called a handsome man. Amazing. Chen Nuo stared at himself in the front camera of his phone and sighed sincerely. Then I put down my phone. System, I need to withdraw today's 1,000 yuan to my bank card. Chen Nuo spoke up. Extracted. The system sounds. Buzz. The next second, Chen Nuo's phone vibrates. Chen Nuo lowered his head and saw the bank card text message on his phone. Your agricultural bank account ending in 1789 received a transfer transaction of 1,000 yuan, with a current balance of 17,000 yuan. There is really 1,000 yuan. Watching the bank text message, Chen Nuo's heart calmed down. Although there was an aura in his eyes and a system for speaking, it was not until this moment that Chen Nuo's heart finally settled down. 17,000 yuan, 1,000 yuan is today's quota, and the other 16,000 yuan is Chen Nuo's tuition, accommodation, and 1 month's living expenses for the first semester of his college. Chen Nuo looked at the bank's text message and read it for a while before suddenly remembering a crucial question. That means he currently only has a total of 17,000 yuan, including tuition, living expenses, and accommodation expenses. This amount of money is quite substantial, but there is still nearly 80,000 yuan left before the limit of the 100,000 yuan consumption cashback card. System, can I shop directly without paying and use a cashback card for consumption? Chen Nuo thought for a moment and asked the system. No, the host must first use their own money to settle the account when using the shopping and consumption cashback card. The system replied. Sure enough, it's like this. You need to have 100,000 yuan to go shopping first before you can use the cashback card. But now he only has 17,000 yuan on him. Chen Nuo frowned and began to ponder how to get the money in his hand to 100,000 yuan. As for spending only 17,000 yuan on shopping and then using a cashback card, Chen Nuo did not consider this method at all. Because that's a huge waste. Since the maximum limit of the cashback card provided by the system is 100,000 yuan, of course, it is necessary to spend up to the maximum limit of 100,000 yuan. Only in this way can the benefits be maximized. This represents hundreds of thousands of interests behind it. Chen Nuo pondered in his heart that he had ways to make money, but none of them could be achieved in the short term. It seems that we can only borrow money. Chen Nuo sighed and decided to borrow money. He never expected that on his first day of rebirth, after owning the Shenhao system, the first step he had to take was to borrow money. But for the sake of maximizing profits, we can only do so. As for who to borrow money from, Chen Nuo took out his phone and called the person marked as Junzi. Junzi, Chen Nuo's classmate in high school for 3 years, is also a close ally. My real name is Lin Xiaojun, and I come from a wealthy family. My father is the owner of a furniture store in the county where Chen Nuo is located. Lin Xiaojun is an only child, so he has been pampered since childhood. During his 3 years in high school, Chen Nuo's weekly allowance was 50 yuan, but Lin Xiaojun's allowance was 2,000 yuan per week. But Lin Xiaojun is not someone who spends money recklessly, on the contrary, he is very frugal. Chen Nuo saw Lin Xiaojun's bank balance in high school, which was over 200,000 yuan, including Chinese New Year's money. Therefore, Chen Nuo thought of borrowing money from his close friend Lin Xiaojun. Chen Nuo called, but his thoughts drifted away. He has a close relationship with Lin Xiaojun and is a true close friend. In his previous life, Lin Xiaojun's ending was not very good. In the year he graduated from college, Lin Xiaojun's father was designed to go bankrupt, carrying a large amount of debt. The once wealthy Lin Xiaojun family was even worse than ordinary people overnight. Lin Xiaojun's father couldn't bear the blow and jumped down from a 23-story tall building, while his mother was also hospitalized. Lin Xiaojun is burdened with a huge loan and also needs to take care of his hospitalized mother. When Chen Nuo and Lin Xiaojun last met before their rebirth, Lin Xiaojun, who was not yet 30 years old, was already covered in white hair. Chen Nuo worked for several years, saved 70,000 yuan, and gave 50,000 CE to Lin Xiaojun. That was the limit that Chen Nuo could have achieved at that time. But in this lifetime, he can do more. At the very least, the family of our close ally Lin Xiaojun cannot go bankrupt anymore. Lin Xiaojun in his heart is a spirited young man. Instead of having white hair all over and deep despair in their eyes. Chapter 4. Milk Flavor. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. When Chen Nuo was thinking about his previous life, the phone had already been connected. Son, why did you remember to call Dad? Did you miss Dad? Lin Xiaojun's voice came from his phone, with a light and unrestrained tone. Get lost. Chen Nuo cursed, but there was a smile on his face. At this time, my close friend had not yet gone bankrupt and had a huge loan on his back. My father did not jump off the building, and my mother was not hospitalized. The natural voice carries a light and unrestrained tone. Before his rebirth, Chen Nuo had not seen his close allies behave so recklessly for a long time. So at this moment, even if his allies take advantage of him, Chen Nuo still feels happy in his heart. Of course, cursing is still necessary. I haven't seen you for a few days, so you dare to make the following mistakes, Chen Nuo said, adding. What's wrong with you? I'm really curious why you suddenly called me. You should be on the train right now, so intimate with Wang Hui, so don't bother calling me. Lin Xiaojun pursed his lips across from his phone and then said somewhat resentfully. Thanks to our good relationship, you went to school for Wang Hui's sake, while I was in Sichuan province. I thought we could also attend university together. Emphasize color over friendship. After Lin Xiaojun added a final evaluation of Chen Nuo, he curiously asked again. How are you and Wang Hui now? Have you held hands? Kissing? Chen Nuo. Why didn't he realize before that his close friends still have this side? I have nothing to do with Wang Hui anymore. I suddenly realized that I actually don't like her. Chen Nuo spoke up. It's okay. I don't like it anymore. How could it be that during your 3 years in high school, you bought her breakfast and tutored her every day, otherwise she could have been admitted to a second-tier university? What's going on? Wang Hui dumped you. Lin Xiaojun's tone became serious. Absolutely, you're so good to Wang Hui. How could you suddenly dislike her? It's definitely something Wang Hui did, you know, what exactly is it? Lin Xiaojun continued to ask. There's really nothing, okay, don't ask, it's okay anyway, it won't matter in the future. Chen Nuo spoke up and didn't want to talk about Wang Hui anymore. Yes, during his 3 years in high school, he bought breakfast for Wang Hui every day, even if he didn't have breakfast himself, he would buy it for Wang Hui. Moreover, he tutored Wang Hui, which caused him to fall behind in his studies. But so what? When she entered university, Wang Hui still embraced local students. Okay, let's not talk about it. Lin Xiaojun hesitated for a moment, but ultimately did not discuss this matter. However, he was very dissatisfied with Wang Hui in his heart. After all, he knows how much Chen Nuo likes Wang Hui. To be honest, do you have 90,000 yuan in your hand? Lend me some money to use and I will repay it to you within 3 days. Chen Nuo brought up the matter. Yeah, but why did you suddenly borrow so much? Didn't something happen to you? Lin Xiaojun was startled because 90,000 yuan was not a small sum of money. He instinctively felt that something had happened to Chen Nuo. What can I do? It's like this. My cousin is getting married, so I plan to buy a house, but there's a temporary difference of 90,000 yuan. I have a good relationship with this cousin, so I wanted to ask you, but don't worry, I'll give it back to you within 3 days because my cousin said he succeeded in his company project and the commission will be paid in the next few days. Chen Nuo found an excuse and said. Okay, then give me a bank account and I'll transfer 90,000 yuan to you later. Lin Xiaojun nodded without any doubt. Okay, thank you. Chen Nuo felt a warm current flowing through his heart. Although this 90,000 yuan is not much for Lin Xiaojun now, it is very important for Chen Nuo. But Lin Xiaojun didn't say a word of excess. This is a close ally. Of course, Chen Nuo did a decent job himself. In his previous life, he worked for a few years and only saved a total of 70,000 yuan, which he gave to Lin Xiaojun. At that time, Lin Xiaojun had no ability to repay the money. Thank you for what, but if you really want to thank me, why not? Lin Xiaojun spoke up, making Chen Nuo's face serious as he listened. Next second. Why don't you call me father? I really want to hear it for a long time, I beg you. Lin Xiaojun's voice came out. Get lost. Chen Nuo had a black line on his face and hung up the phone directly. He shouldn't have had expectations for this villain. Send me your bank account number. I'll go to the bank to transfer the money to you later. With a beep, Chen Nuo picked up his phone and found that it was a WeChat message from Lin Xiaojun. Chen Nuo took out a bank card, took a photo, and sent it over. Okay, let's go to the bank now. Lin Xiaojun sent a message. After scanning, Chen Nuo locked the phone screen. With Lin Xiaojun's 90,000 yuan in his current bank account, it exceeds 100,000 yuan. After the train arrives at the station, our close friends will almost transfer the money, and then it's natural to go shopping and consume. Earn cashback rewards. Chen Nuo had a bright light in his eyes. The university report lasted for a total of 3 days, and he could definitely report tomorrow. As for the arrival time of the train, it is 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Time is sufficient. Chen Nuo's mind was spinning as he felt the train gradually slowing down. Turning my head to look out the window, it turned out that the train had stopped at a stop midway. 1 minute later, the train stopped and passengers around Chen Nuo got off one after another. Next, a passenger boarded the train. Chen Nuo didn't pay attention to these things, he was reading an online novel on his phone. Although I have read this novel in my previous life, I am currently bored and have nothing to do. Chen Nuo is planning to read it again. As soon as Chen Nuo's mind was immersed, he smelled a pleasant aroma of milk. Following closely, a beautiful girl's voice rang out in front of him. "Hello, my seat is inside you. Could you please stand up and let me know?" The girl's voice was very pleasant, coupled with the pleasant milk fragrance in her nose. Chen Nuo instinctively looked up and looked at the girl. This girl is so beautiful. At the first sight of the girl, Chen Nuo couldn't help but be amazed in his heart. Chapter 5. Senior Sister Tang Yun. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In his previous life, Chen Nuo became a company manager and met quite a few beautiful girls. But to be honest, those girls are completely inferior to the one standing in front of me at this moment. Chen Nuo looked up at the girl standing in front of him. Her skin is fair, her facial features are delicate and beautiful, and her hair is tied into a high ponytail. She looks exceptionally youthful and energetic, and also exceptionally beautiful. As for wearing, the girl wore a white short-sleeved shirt on her upper body, and her fair jade arms were exposed like this. The short-sleeved hem was tucked into the denim pants below. The waist and limbs are slender and plump, making it difficult to grip. Although it was denim pants with no exposed legs, Chen Nuo could clearly see the straight and slender leg shape. This ordinary outfit looks particularly fashionable on this girl. Chen Nuo suddenly thought of a sentence. Even if a good-looking person wears rags, they look like a runway show, while if an unattractive person wears a big brand, they look like picking up rags. When Chen Nuo looked at the girl and was amazed, the girl also looked at Chen Nuo. At first, Tang Yun didn't care about Chen Nuo because she looked at him from her perspective. To be honest, it's ordinary. Although I didn't see Chen Nuo's face, the clothing was very ordinary. No, it can't even be said to be ordinary, it should be said to be a bit poor. And the hair is also a bit long, almost covering the eyes. Of course, Tang Yun didn't think much, anyway she didn't know Chen Nuo. Just Tang Yun didn't expect that when Chen Nuo looked up at her, this ordinary-looking boy had a pair of particularly clean and transparent eyes. That eye is not mixed with any impurities. Almost immediately, it made Tang Yun's heart tremble, and soon, she developed a good impression of Chen Nuo in her heart. Having such clean and transparent eyes, this boy must be a very nice person. Tang Yun's thoughts turned in her heart, and she instinctively thought of the hot gazes from those boys at her in school. Compared to Chen Nuo's clear and clean gaze at this moment. In Tang Yun's heart, her liking increased once again. Although there is much to say, the distance from reality is only in the blink of an eye. Please have a seat. Chen Nuo stood up and stepped aside to make it easier for Tang Yun to walk in and sit down. Chen Nuo appeared very generous and composed, from his tone of voice to his gesture of standing up and giving way. After all, no matter what, Chen Nuo was almost 30 years old in his previous life, but still in his 30s. No matter how beautiful Tang Yun is and how stunning she is, Chen Nuo can still treat her with a calm heart. Not to mention, Chen Nuo's current confidence is particularly strong. This is brought about by the rebirth and divine power system. This allows Chen Nuo to have a very ordinary attitude when facing Tang Yun. Oh, good, thank you. Tang Yun nodded and sat in her seat. After sitting down, he couldn't help but take a few glances at Chen Nuo, and then I was surprised and amazed in my heart. Tang Yun is very confident in her appearance and figure, which has been brought about by many pursuers from childhood to the general public. Although Tang Yun has never talked about a boyfriend until now, it doesn't stop her from knowing that she is very beautiful. In school, those pursuers faced her with some awkwardness, and some even dared not look at her even when talking to her. But Chen Nuo in front of her, who looked even smaller than her and was still holding a suitcase, looked like a freshman reporting from university. How could you be so calm and generous? It has to be said that Tang Yun was somewhat surprised by this. Of course, this surprise flashed by and was immediately suppressed by Tang Yun. Are you a freshman? Tang Yun spoke up and asked Chen Nuo a question. Her personality tends to be introverted, so when it comes to everyday life, she naturally won't approach a stranger. But Chen Nuo's eye halo was too large, making Tang Yun unable to resist wanting to chat with Chen Nuo. Yes, freshman. Faced with Tang Yun's proactive conversation, Chen Nuo initially felt a bit strange. After all, Tang Yun was too beautiful, and now he is not good at both clothing and anything. But soon, Chen Nuo realized why. Because of the halo in his eyes. Which city is the university you are applying for? Tang Yun continued to speak, and a strand of unruly hair floated in front of her as she spoke. She used her fingers to stroke it backwards, and her entire movement appeared very intellectual and beautiful. Magic City, Normal University. Chen Nuo smiled and replied. Magic City. Tang Yun was taken aback because she was also studying at the Magic City School and was supposed to be in her third year. I also attend school in Magic City. Although our school is different, I should be in my third year, so according to my age, you have to call me senior sister. Tang Yun felt a little proud, but she didn't realize that she had just met Chen Nuo and couldn't even be considered acquainted, so she exposed some of her information. Senior sister. Chen Nuo glanced at Tang Yun and didn't reply with this sentence. His current psychological age is 30 years old. Hurry up, call senior sister. Seeing Chen Nuo ignoring her own criticism, Tang Yun couldn't help but say something. I don't know why, but she looked at Chen Nuo very well, so she showed her liveliness in front of friends and in front of Chen Nuo. No shouting. Chen Nuo simply spoke up. Why not shout? Tang Yun asked a follow-up question. Alright, if you call me senior sister, I'll treat you to dinner. Besides, you must not be familiar with the place even when you go to Magic City. I won't let you call me senior sister for nothing. I can introduce you to Magic City. Tang Yun spoke up, and the sound of her senior sister on her face definitely won't make you scream for nothing. But if her words were heard by her friends and pursuers, I'm afraid her face would be shocked. Because at some point, Tang Yun actually took the initiative to invite a boy to dinner. You should know that many boys in school want to invite Tang Yun to dinner, but they are all rejected by Tang Yun. Not to mention, Tang Yun also said she wanted to introduce Mo Du to Chen Nuo. The system is indeed magical. Chen Nuo sighed inwardly, knowing that Tang Yun was doing this because of the halo in his eyes. Otherwise, there is no way to explain. Tang Yun, a beautiful woman of this level, took the initiative to invite him to dinner the first time they met. If he only looks at it from the outside now, there is nothing unusual about him. How about calling it senior sister or not? Tang Yun blinked her beautiful big eyes, just like a hunter who lures foxes. If you want me to call you senior sister, it's okay, but I have one request. Chen Nuo thought for a moment and spoke up. Chapter 6. Senior sister, I can hypnotize. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Requirements. What requirements? Tang Yun's fair and pretty face was surprised for a moment. It's really surprising. As for that sentence, she was very clear about how beautiful she was, which was why she was even more surprised. She even offered to treat her to dinner, but Chen Nuo still didn't call her senior sister and instead said a request like this. This left Tang Yun both surprised and somewhat skeptical of her charm. Is it because I didn't put on makeup today? Tang Yun's thoughts turned in her heart, and she quietly picked up her phone. Through the dark screen of her phone, she saw her delicate and fair face. After arriving at the Magic City, I want to cut my hair and go to the mall to buy some clothes, but my eyesight is not good. I don't know if my senior sister can help me palm my hand. Chen Nuo pretended not to see Tang Yun's small movements and said with a smile. Although he can also cut his hair and buy clothes alone, he can have beauties of Tang Yun's level by his side. Even if nothing happens, it is still a very pleasant thing. Of course, I have a good eye for choosing clothes. It's not like I said, your current hairstyle and clothes do have some. Tang Yun breathed a sigh of relief and then looked at Chen Nuo about to speak. But halfway through, she awkwardly blinked her eyes. It's a bit outdated, I know. Chen Nuo took the conversation and waved his hand indifferently. That's why we need to change our hairstyle and buy some nice clothes. Chen Nuo continued to speak up. In his previous life in college, he was a transparent person in his class and had a low sense of presence. After all, from his clothes to his hairstyle, he exuded a rustic aura all over his body. Even though his face was somewhat handsome, no one would observe Chen Nuo's inner self through his old-fashioned clothes. Respect clothes first and then respect people. This sentence is correct. Actually, it's not outdated either. It's just a bit unpopular, but don't worry, with my help in advising you, it will definitely make you look refreshed from the inside out. Tang Yun clenched her fists and looked as if you could trust me. Thank you, senior. Chen Nuo smiled and spoke up. The next time passed quickly during the conversation between Chen Nuo and Tang Yun. Chen Nuo, after all, was 30 years old in his previous life and also a company manager, so he was very good at chatting and occasionally made Tang Yun laugh out loud. Senior sister, actually I can hypnotize. Chen Nuo spoke and his words surprised Tang Yun. Do you still hypnotize? I don't believe it. Tang Yun shook her head, indicating disbelief. Come on, senior, look at my hand. After 3 seconds, you'll feel like you're a cute little pig. Chen Nuo didn't explain either, just stretched out his right hand and placed it in front of Tang Yun. How could it be? Tang Yun looked silently at Chen Nuo, who was not a 3-year-old child. Just look, I don't believe that after 3 seconds, I will feel like a little pig. Tang Yun's beautiful eyes fixed on Chen Nuo's hand. 1, 2, 3. Chen Nuo spoke up, counted for 3 seconds, and then continued. Alright, now you're a little pig. Clearly not. Tang Yun spoke up directly and immediately wanted to continue speaking. Hey, it seems that my hypnosis wasn't successful enough. Even my senior sister forgot that you were a little pig. Chen Nuo shook his head, but there was a smile on the corner of his mouth. What does it mean to forget that I'm a little pig? I was already. Ha. Tang Yun spoke halfway and reacted. Pushy. Then Tang Yun couldn't help but laugh. Until now, Tang Yun couldn't react. Chen Nuo was teasing her. You're actually waiting for me here, looking for a fight. After Tang Yun laughed out loud, her fair and pretty face pretended to be serious, and she clenched her fists and attacked Chen Nuo. It looks very cute. Chen Nuo didn't dodge either, letting Tang Yun's little fist hit him on the shoulder. Humph, do you dare to tease me in the future? Seeing that she had hit Chen Nuo, Tang Yun suddenly felt a little proud. Chen Nuo smiled and didn't speak, but his gaze turned to the shoulder next to Tang Yun and himself at the moment. It's summer now, and the two of them are shoulder to shoulder. Chen Nuo could clearly feel Tang Yun's delicate and warm skin. Psychologically speaking, he and Tang Yun are already a very close distance between people at this moment. At first, when Tang Yun sat down, there was still some distance between him and his body. But now, their shoulders were already touching each other, but Tang Yun did not leave. This indicates that he is already somewhat different in Tang Yun's heart. At the very least, they are good friends. Tell me, do you dare to tease me again in the future? If you dare to tease me again, I won't show mercy. Tang Yun didn't notice the shoulder next to Chen Nuo at the moment, just continued to clench her fists and said to Chen Nuo. I dare not. Chen Nuo pressed his inner thoughts and smiled as he spoke. Humph, that's pretty much. Tang Yun spoke, but before she could finish speaking, she saw the train slowly stopping. Chen Nuo glanced at the time. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the train arrived at the Magic City railway station. Get off the car later, don't worry. Chen Nuo did not get up because passengers from other seats began to get up, and the narrow aisle was crowded with people. Tang Yun nodded. After waiting for the passengers to disembark, Chen Nuo dragged his suitcase and walked off the train with Tang Yun. Just as he got off the train, Chen Nuo saw Wang Hui standing there not far away. Let's go, Junior. It's your first time coming to the Magic City, isn't it? The exit is over there, I'll take you there. Tang Yun tugged at Chen Nuo's arm and gestured for him to follow her. Okay. Chen Nuo followed Tang Yun and the two walked towards the direction of the train exit. As they walked, the two of them were chatting, and anyone who saw it would feel that Chen Nuo and Tang Yun had a good relationship. But in the eyes of Wang Hui, who was not far away, she couldn't believe it. Chapter 7. What kind of fairy girl? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Wang Hui stood in place, looking incredulously at Chen Nuo and Tang Yun as they left side by side. The reason why Wang Hui is standing here is to wait for Chen Nuo. Although at the beginning, she was indeed very angry and felt inexplicable. But thinking of all the good things Chen Nuo did to her during her 3 years in high school, Wang Hui felt that she needed to give Chen Nuo a chance. As long as Chen Nuo apologizes to her, she is still willing to be Chen Nuo's girlfriend. But Wang Hui never expected that what she saw was Chen Nuo leaving with a girl who had a good appearance, figure, and temperament. Wang Hui saw Tang Yun's face. To be honest, at that moment, Wang Hui felt a bit insecure in her heart. Because Tang Yun is really beautiful, both in terms of clothing and temperament. How could such a beautiful girl walk away with Chen Nuo? And they also talked and laughed. Wang Hui was very convinced that Chen Nuo and Tang Yun didn't know each other before. After all, Chen Nuo was on the train with her. I said, why are you suddenly inexplicably attracted to a more attractive girl? Wang Hui gritted her teeth and suddenly became angry inside. But after a moment of anger, Wang Hui's lips curved into a cold smile. The toad wants to eat swan meat without looking at yourself. How could such a girl like that take a liking to you? Wang Hui sneered inwardly. She didn't believe that such a beautiful girl would fall in love with Chen Nuo. The reason why the two are talking and laughing now must be because that beautiful girl wants Chen Nuo to help. When Chen Nuo regrets it. Wang Hui gritted her teeth and dragged her suitcase towards the exit. Her suitcase was very large, after all, it contained many useful things, so Wang Hui walked very slowly. And without taking 2 steps, sweat appeared on Wang Hui's face. Before boarding the train, Wang Hui never took her suitcase, it was all held by Chen Nuo. But now without Chen Nuo, she can only hold it herself. Don't expect me to be your girlfriend again in the future. After wiping the sweat off her face with her hand, Wang Hui continued to drag her suitcase and struggled towards the exit. At this moment, Chen Nuo has already walked out of the train station with Tang Yun. As for Wang Hui, Chen Nuo naturally saw it just now. But now he treats Wang Hui completely like air. It was you who took the blame on me first. The most fortunate thing for Chen Nuo now is that although he and Wang Hui are in the same university, their majors are different. This means he won't have to see Wang Hui again in the future. Chen Nuo will not retaliate against Wang Hui, but he also does not want to see this woman again. I finally left the station. Let's go, brother. Don't you want to cut your hair? I'll take you to a barber shop. My sisters and I often cut our hair there. Tang Yun waved to stop a taxi and said to Chen Nuo. Listen to my senior sister. Chen Nuo nodded, put the suitcase in the trunk of the taxi, and sat with Tang Yun in the back seat of the taxi. The next second, the taxi leaves the train station. In the taxi, Tang Yun suddenly realized that she had forgotten to ask Chen Nuo a question. That's Chen Nuo's monthly living expenses. The barber shop she and her dormitory sisters often go to is not cheap. The lowest level ones all cost 128 yuan. Although Tang Yun thinks it's worth the price, she doesn't know if Chen Nuo has the purchasing power. Thinking of this, Tang Yun glanced at Chen Nuo and felt that she had done something wrong. Because the clothes on Chen Nuo's body represent his family conditions, I'm afraid he can't accept this kind of consumption. What should we do? Tang Yun became worried in her heart, afraid of damaging Chen Nuo's self-esteem. Whether it's Chen Nuo's eyes or the chat on the train just now, Tang Yun has already regarded Chen Nuo as a good junior. Junior brother, I'll ask you to cut your hair later. After all, I can't let you call me senior sister for nothing. Tang Yun spoke up and prepared to ask Chen Nuo for a haircut. Her family conditions are good, otherwise it's just around the Magic City, and there are no seats on today's high-speed train. She wouldn't take the green train. Are you treating me? No need. Chen Nuo glanced at Tang Yun and saw the worries in her eyes. She immediately understood why Tang Yun asked him to have his hair cut. Is he worried that the waiting barbershop will be too expensive for him to accept? Chen Nuo chuckled inwardly, he now has a divine luxury system. Give 1,000 yuan a day for free to understand. In addition to laughing, Chen Nuo's heart was also moved. Because Tang Yun knows how to worry and hurt his self-esteem, this alone has surpassed the vast majority of girls in this society. She is beautiful and has such a kind heart. Senior sister, I won't hide anything from you until now. I've had a showdown. In fact, if I have money, at least I should be richer than my senior sister. Chen Nuo spoke directly. First, cut your hair and then buy clothes. After spending enough 100,000 yuan, you can directly use the consumption cashback card, even the lowest 5 times reward is 500,000 yuan. So, Chen Nuo really has the confidence to say that he has money now. Don't look at the millions per person online, but they are all fake. In real life, if you can pull out hundreds of thousands of cash, it already exceeds many people. Ah! Tang Yun was stunned for a moment, a bit skeptical of what Chen Nuo said, but also afraid that speaking directly would hurt Chen Nuo's self-esteem. After all, her monthly income is 3,000, which is relatively high among college students. Tang Yun was about to speak when the taxi stopped. Chen Nuo's gaze followed the car window and saw a hair salon decorated with exquisite decoration by a petty bourgeoisie. Junior, after you enter, you can first ask about the price. If you can't accept it, just let me know. I won't have any opinions about you because of this. It's normal for you to have no money when you just started college. Tang Yun tugged at Chen Nuo's arm and then said. Chen Nuo lowered his head and saw Tang Yun's delicate and fair face, full of seriousness. What kind of fairy girl? Chen Nuo's heart was touched. Chapter 8. How handsome the younger brother is. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Don't worry, senior. Pressing the inner touch, Chen Nuo smiled and nodded. After confirming that Chen Nuo had listened to what she said, Tang Yun finally felt at ease. After paying the fare, Chen Nuo dragged his suitcase and walked to the barber shop with Tang Yun Chao. At the entrance of the barber shop, there stood several apprentices around the age of 20. Good afternoon, sir and madam. Welcome to our store. Seeing Chen Nuo and Tang Yun, these 6 barber apprentices spoke up together. Bending slightly while speaking. It's quite impressive. Upon seeing this, Chen Nuo smiled inwardly and walked directly into the barber shop. This barber shop covers a considerable area and has exquisite interior decoration. It is a place where ordinary people feel intimidated when they enter. Tang Yun looked at Chen Nuo with some concern, intending to pull him away as long as Chen Nuo showed any signs of fear or discomfort. But what surprised Tang Yun was that Chen Nuo's face was relaxed and natural from entering the barber shop until now, without any signs of discomfort or fear. Just like, the barber shop in front of Chen Nuo was nothing to him. Upon realizing this, Tang Yun was truly surprised. Because the first time her roommate brought her to this barber shop, she was very nervous inside. Is it our junior students really rich? Otherwise, there is no way to explain the confidence behind this relaxed attitude. Tang Yun guessed in her heart. Chen Nuo didn't know what Tang Yun was thinking, but he really didn't feel any discomfort or fear from the barber shop in front of him. Chen Nuo had never been to such a high-end hair salon in his previous life. In his previous life, when Chen Nuo passed by such a hair salon, he would just walk away. But now, the rebirth and divine power system have given Chen Nuo great confidence in his heart. This confidence has given Chen Nuo enough confidence and composure now. Money is human courage, I won't deceive you. Miss Tang, are you going to have your hair cut? A barber walked over, wearing a suit. Chen Nuo glanced at the suit on his body and found that it was actually a branded item, asking for nearly 10,000 yuan. I won't cut it today, it's my friend who cuts his hair. Tang Yun shook her head and introduced Chen Nuo. Sir, please take a seat. The barber glanced at Chen Nuo and focused on his clothes and hairstyle, but his expression and tone remained unchanged, still respecting Chen Nuo. Seeing this, Chen Nuo was surprised at first. Surprisingly, there is no plot that looks down on people. But no wonder there are so many people who look down on them, especially those hairdressers who are petty bourgeoisie and exquisite at first glance. Sir, we have several levels of hairstylists here, and each level of hairstylist charges different fees, but correspondingly, the hairstyle we design for you will also be more suitable for you. After Chen Nuo and Tang Yun sat down, the barber took 2 bottles of mineral water and then handed Chen Nuo a tablet. Chen Nuo took over the tablet. There are several levels of hairstylists above. Director, assistant director, wait a minute. The lowest level barber costs 128 to cut their hair, and the highest director, cutting a hair, actually costs 899. To be honest, it's very expensive. But beneath the director, there are many titles, and even after Chen Nuo clicked on them, he could still see the various haircut awards that this director has won. Very full of pressure. Just this director. Chen Nuo spoke up. It's okay if he didn't dare to come in his previous life, but now he's reborn and has the divine hero system. He wants to try something he hasn't tried before. Okay sir, I'll inform the director now. Please sit here and wait a moment. The barber looked at Chen Nuo with a hint of surprise, but quickly concealed it and turned to inform the director. Junior, do you want the director to cut your hair? It's 899. Waiting for the barber to leave, Tang Yun was somewhat shocked and spoke up. She came to this barber shop many times, but she didn't dare to choose a director because it was indeed expensive. Tang Yun's monthly living expenses are 3,000. Although she can afford it once, she cannot bear to part with it. But now most importantly, Tang Yun saw that Chen Nuo was really arbitrary in selecting the director. That kind of relaxed and natural the younger brother I met on the train probably doesn't really have money, right? Rich second generation. Can you also cut it, senior? I can treat you. Seeing Tang Yun's shocked expression, Chen Nuo smiled and spoke up. No, I won't cut it, it's too expensive. Tang Yun shook her head without even thinking. However, the director of this store can indeed have his hair cut. It is said that there are also celebrities coming to cut it. Tang Yun spoke up. Is that right? Chen Nuo raised his eyebrows. Hello sir, I am the store director. Shall we go wash our hair first? A middle-aged man walked over, wearing a suit that was even more expensive, costing over 20,000 yuan. And the whole person is also extremely capable. Okay. Chen Nuo nodded and left with the middle-aged man. Half an hour later. Chen Nuo's original old-fashioned hairstyle was completely changed with the director's cutting. It has to be said that the director has a design vision and craftsmanship. Chen Nuo's current hairstyle is an inch long, but it is different from the inch-long hairstyles on the market. Chen Nuo couldn't say 1, 2, or 3, but even he himself felt that he was indeed handsome now. Tang Yun on the side was even more stunned. Junior, are you so handsome? Tang Yun looked at Chen Nuo in front of her with an incredulous expression. Chen Nuo is truly handsome today. The inch head perfectly fits Chen Nuo's head shape. Make Chen Nuo's facial features very clear. The eyebrows were also trimmed, with some sharpness. In short, Chen Nuo now is clean and refreshing, yet carries the hormones of men. Paired with Chen Nuo's clean and transparent eyes. To be honest, Tang Yun quietly pinched the soft flesh around her waist. Well, this is not an illusion. This is really on the train, looking like an old-fashioned junior. Chapter 9. The Happiness of Having Money. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Look at me again and I'll take the money. As Tang Yun stared at Chen Nuo, completely stunned, she coldly heard him speak. Subconsciously looking up, Tang Yun saw Chen Nuo looking at her with a shy expression on his face. Schwa. In an instant, Tang Yun's delicate and fair face couldn't help but blush slightly. It looks very beautiful and stunning. Who's watching you? Don't talk nonsense. Tang Yun blushed, but didn't want to weaken her momentum, so she glared over. TSK, this kind of creature like a woman, no matter how old she is, her words are deceitful. Chen Nuo let out a click, and Tang Yun raised her hand as she was about to strike. Chen Nuo instinctively raised his hand and grabbed Tang Yun's small fist head on. Tang Yun's hands are very small, even smaller when clenched into a fist, so Chen Nuo's palm can completely wrap around it. The delicate texture of the skin was immediately felt by Chen Nuo. Tang Yun was stunned. Because she felt her fist being wrapped in Chen Nuo's big hand, and the man's palms were warm. Bang, bang. Tang Yun's heartbeat suddenly became rapid and enthusiastic. You. Just as Tang Yun blushed and was about to ask Chen Nuo to let go of her hand, Chen Nuo first let go. Tang Yun breathed a sigh of relief in her heart, feeling relaxed, but also somewhat disappointed. Let's settle the bill. Chen Nuo glanced at Tang Yun, withdrew his gaze, and turned to the director who had just cut his hair, preparing to settle the bill. Sir, I would like to ask if it's possible to take a photo of you and promote it in the store. In return, the cost of this haircut won't be needed. The director spoke up, his eyes shining as he looked at Chen Nuo. But don't misunderstand, he doesn't like Chen Nuo, but he thinks that even though he has designed so many hairstyles, Chen Nuo can still be considered one of his very good designs this time. Among them, the director felt that his design only accounted for 50%, while the other 50% were Chen Nuo's eyes. These eyes are too transparent and clean, which has elevated Chen Nuo's overall temperament by several levels. Free Tang Yun stood beside her, her delicate fair face surprised. Yes, it's free, as long as this gentleman agrees to us taking photos and promoting them. The director smiled and nodded. No need, I'll pay. Chen Nuo refused directly, he didn't plan to use his photos for promotion, anyway, it's not without money now. Sir, would you like to reconsider? The director wanted to try harder, but before he could finish speaking, he met Chen Nuo's gaze and shook his head with a bitter smile. After checking out, Chen Nuo dragged his suitcase and walked out of the barber shop with Tang Yun. Next, buy clothes. Chen Nuo looked over at Tang Yun. Okay, but you need to tell me first how much your budget is for buying clothes. Tang Yun spoke up, and now she realized that Chen Nuo's family conditions were not as good as she thought. In terms of budget, let's have 10. Chen Nuo thought for a moment and gave an answer. 10. 1,000 yuan. Tang Yun didn't understand, but subconsciously thought it was 1,000 yuan. 1,000 yuan is enough. It's summer now, and clothes are not expensive. I can pair you with 2 sets of clothes. Tang Yun began to calculate where to buy clothes for Chen Nuo. But she didn't finish speaking. The 10 I mentioned are 100,000 yuan. Chen Nuo spoke up. But for shoes, you may not be able to buy them. What are you saying, 100,000 yuan? Tang Yun swallowed the words to her lips, and her head couldn't help but lift in shock. Your budget for buying clothes is 100,000 yuan. Tang Yun looked at Chen Nuo in shock, feeling that she must have heard the wrong thing. Yes, it's 100,000 yuan, but not only do we need to buy clothes and shoes, but we also need to buy a phone and computer. All of these add up to a budget of 100,000 yuan. Chen Nuo nodded and gave Tang Yun a very positive answer. When I got off the train and left the station, my close friends threw the money over. Tang Yun. Some people may not believe it, but the student she casually met on the train was actually a wealthy second generation. And he's also a decent second generation wealthy person. Tang Yun is very certain about this matter, because mobile phones and computers cost a total of 20,000 yuan. The other 80,000 yuan is just a budget for buying clothes. Buy clothes for 80,000 yuan. A large number in Tang Yun's eyes. Being able to spend 80,000 yuan on clothes is beyond the reach of ordinary wealthy second generation people. Are you really fake? Do you really have to spend so much money on clothes and shoes? After several seconds of shock, Tang Yun finally spoke up. Of course it's true, let's go, here's a taxi. Chen Nuo was very satisfied with Tang Yun's current astonishment. After nodding his head, he saw a taxi and immediately stopped it. Let's go, what are you staring at? Chen Nuo came to the taxi and saw that Tang Yun had not yet followed, so he shouted. Oh. Tang Yun nodded in confusion and walked over in a daze. What's wrong with you? You're so lethargic, and why are you sitting so far? The taxi had already driven, and in the back seat, Chen Nuo looked at Tang Yun, who was sitting a bit far away from him and still very dazed, helplessly saying. You didn't say you were a wealthy second generation either. After Tang Yun bit her teeth, she looked up at Chen Nuo, her beautiful eyes mixed with some complexity. She started chatting with Chen Nuo purely because of his eyes. But in her heart, Tang Yun felt that Chen Nuo had no money. But now, it has suddenly brought her such a big turning point. Tang Yun has never seen a wealthy second generation, in fact, there is one in her dormitory. But the other party doesn't dare to spend 100,000 yuan to buy clothes. This is too luxurious. What's wrong with the rich second generation? I'm the rich second generation, so why don't you be friends with me? Seeing Tang Yun like this, Chen Nuo smiled and spoke up. But I feel very touched in my heart. If it were another girl, I'm afraid she would have rushed forward long ago. But Tang Yun actually felt a sense of distance from him. That's not true, I just. Tang Yun thought for a moment and spoke, but couldn't express her inner thoughts. At first, you thought I didn't have much money, but now you suddenly realize that I'm the second generation wealthy, so you can't accept it in your heart, right? Chen Nuo took over the conversation. Yes. Tang Yun nodded. What's unacceptable about this? Come on, look up at me. Chen Nuo spoke up. Tang Yun lifted her head and looked at Chen Nuo. You see clearly, I also have 2 eyes, 1 nose and 1 mouth, which is not much more or less than others. Chen Nuo's words were crisp, and Tang Yun also understood Chen Nuo's meaning. Can. But what's wrong? I treat you like a friend. Just because I'm a little richer than you imagine, you don't treat me like a friend anymore. Chen Nuo interrupted and said directly. That's not it. Tang Yun didn't even think about it, so she spoke up. The question is, why are you a little richer? Senior, do you think having money is really good? Do you think having money is really as happy as you imagine? You're wrong. Chen Nuo sighed with a sad tone. Tang Yun looked at it and immediately had a big drama in her mind. That's because Chen Nuo is not valued at home, or he may have a stepmother, or he may have a younger brother and brothers fighting over each other. In short, Tang Yun's mind is filled with scenes of wealthy families fighting each other in TV dramas. This made Tang Yun feel a bit heartbroken when she looked at Chen Nuo again. If you look at it this way, having money is not a big deal. Unlike her family, although not considered wealthy, at least her parents love her very much. Just as Tang Yun felt sorry for Chen Nuo, she heard his words. The happiness of having money, senior sister, you can't imagine it. Chen Nuo took a leisurely breath. Tang Yun. Where's the knife? What about her 30-meter-long sword? She's going to kill Chen Nuo today. No one can stop it. She said it. Chapter 10. Single can be sexualized. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Bang, bang, bang. Tang Yun's face turned black and she vigorously hit Chen Nuo several times. Fortunately, she still felt sorry for Chen Nuo just now and felt that even with money, she was not happy. But what about the outcome? How infuriating. After playing for a while, Tang Yun finally stopped. Humph. But looking at Chen Nuo, Tang Yun still snorted lightly, indicating that she didn't want to talk to Chen Nuo. Chen Nuo didn't care either, because after the commotion just now, he could clearly see that Tang Yun's inner barrier had disappeared. Since you are so wealthy, then go to Wanda Mall to buy clothes. There are all luxury goods there. Although they are expensive clothes, whether in terms of design or feel, can best set off a person. Tang Yun gave Chen Nuo a glare before speaking. Line. Chen Nuo nodded and said, what kind of clothes to buy is secondary. The main thing is to spend enough 100,000 yuan and then use the consumption cashback card. But I have a question for you. Tang Yun spoke again, a pair of beautiful eyes looking towards Chen Nuo, with a curious expression flashing inside. Don't worry, senior sister. I don't have a girlfriend and I'm still single and flirtatious. Chen Nuo smiled and said. Ah. Tang Yun was stunned for a moment, and the next second her fair and delicate pretty face suddenly turned slightly red. Who asked you this? Tang Yinchi lightly patted Chen Nuo's body with her skillful hand, but for some reason, when she heard Chen Nuo say he was single, Tang Yinchi suddenly felt a slight joy in her heart. The happy mood was so faint that Tang Yun didn't even notice it. I want to ask you, your family is so wealthy that they are willing to let you spend 100,000 yuan on clothes. Why are your clothes so old-fashioned now? Tang Yun spoke up, curious about this. Of course, it's because I only had money today. Chen Nuo replied inwardly, but his words were different. My family is very strict. I used to have very little pocket money, but now that I'm in college, my family's management has become more relaxed. Chen Nuo said. So it's like this. Tang Yun nodded clearly and was about to speak when her phone suddenly rang. Oh, it's over. Tang Yun took out her phone and felt a bit panicked when she saw the phone number called from above. My sisters in my dormitory called me because I said I would come today and she said she would pick me up, but I forgot about it. Tang Yun held her phone as if it were a hot potato, neither answering nor not answering. Because the reason she forgot about it was because she chatted too happily with Chen Nuo on the train. Junior, don't talk. Tang Yun ultimately decided to answer the phone, and after saying this to Chen Nuo, she answered the call. Xiao Yunyun, the train hasn't arrived yet. I've been waiting for you in the parking lot for half an hour. Just as the phone was connected, a beautiful girl's voice came from inside. With some boldness and a lack of coquettishness and affectation. In short, she is a girl who only listens to her voice and feels that she is not delicate or artificial. Ah, the train has arrived at the station. After swallowing her saliva, Tang Yun said. Then come directly to the parking lot. It's still the old place. I'll wait for you here. Let's go back to school first, and then have a dinner in the dormitory at night. Let's have a good play naughty. A voice came from the phone. So what, I have already left the train station. Tang Yun gave a dry laugh. What did you say? Did you leave the train station? Tang Yun. Do you know that I left at noon just to come and pick you up? The tone of the girl's voice on the phone is raised. Lin, don't get angry yet. I was wrong about today's incident. So, you go back to school first, and I'll go back before tonight. Let's have dinner together then, that's it. Tang Yun quickly finished this sentence and then hung up the phone. Following closely, I breathed a sigh of relief in my mouth. Lin Gu is my roommate, a girl, but we all call her Lin Gu. After noticing Chen Nuo's strange gaze, Tang Yun spoke up and explained. Chen Nuo nodded. If you have anything to do, go back to school first, and I can buy clothes myself. Chen Nuo spoke up. No matter what, I promised you everything. It's okay, just go back to school before tonight, there's enough time. Tang Yun shook her head and before she could finish speaking, her phone vibrated. It's a WeChat message. After Tang Yun clicked on it, she saw several messages marked as Lin Ji's message. Tang Yun. I need an explanation. A smiling expression. Cluttering. Tang Yun's heart skipped a beat. Explain what? Tang Yun pretended to be silly and sent a message. What do you mean by explaining? You actually forgot that I was waiting for you in the parking lot, and what's going on when you left the train station but didn't go back to school before night? You only have one chance to speak. The WeChat message popped up quickly. Hey. Tang Yun sighed and knew. It's not really much, it's just that I met a junior on the train. He's a new student reporting from Mordo University. Tang Yun briefly summarized that she met Chen Nuo on the train and wanted to help her staff buy clothes. Tang Yun. Just as soon as this paragraph was posted, the girl across from her became angry. So, are you with a stranger now? You just got to know him and we're going to buy clothes together. Do you know if he's a good person or a bad person? Where are you going to buy clothes? Send me the address. Hurry up. Looking at the message sent by her friend, Tang Yunmin smiled beautifully. She knows her roommate cares about her. But how could Chen Nuo be a bad person? Tang Yun turned her head and glanced at Chen Nuo next to her. Coincidentally, Chen Nuo was also looking at her, so Tang Yun saw Chen Nuo's clean and transparent eyes. The taxi also stopped at this moment. Outside is Wanda Plaza. Tang Yun. Send me the address. Tang Yun's phone hummed and trembled several times again. After hesitating for a moment, Tang Yun still sent the location over. Wait for me at the door in 10 minutes. The message came from across quickly. My roommate may come over later, don't mind. Tang Yun turned her head and said to Chen Nuo with some embarrassment.